Hi guys, this is Jeff at Slavens Racing. This video is about, are the transmissions the same between the XC and the XC-W for 24? Well, good question. And this video I'm making it basically for a guy who made a comment. I believe he left a comment on one of my YouTube videos. Maybe it was on Facebook, I don't know, but he said that he did his homework and checked the part numbers between the two bikes and that the transmissions were the same. And I was about to call BS on that, but I didn't respond to him because I can't find his post. I don't know if I deleted it or what, but anyhow, I can't find his post. So if you're watching this video, thank you for that information because it made me do some more homework. Because KTM has not put out the gear ratios in their owner's manual yet this year for the XC-W model. All right, so that's the 24-300 XC-W. This is a 23-300 XC, which is the same as a 24-300 XC engine-wise. The only difference on the 24 XC is it's got the new spring forks and obviously different graphics and a few little things like that. But basically, they're the same bike. All right, so after I got that comment from that guy, I thought, well, before I open my big mouth here, I better do a little homework, and I did. So I got online, I pulled up all the part numbers. I wrote down all the part numbers for the XC tranny, all the part numbers for the XC-W tranny, exact same part numbers, exact same amount of teeth listed in the description. And that didn't make sense to me because I haven't ridden the XC for a while, for a couple of months probably. And I would have sworn that the XC-W transmission had a little bit lower first gear. But it doesn't. All right, so I dug even further. I thought, well, primary drive gears must be different. So I looked up those two part numbers. They're the same between both models. All right, now what's weird is what's different between the two models is the overall sprockets, the overall gearing, which is the sprockets. All right, so the XC comes with a 14 front, 49 rear. This bike, the W, comes with a 13 front and a 45 rear. They've always come with 50s in the past. They've always been 1350. This one's 1345. Well, obviously those are a lot different sizes. But if you do the math on those, they're almost identical ratios. So the ratio on this bike, the XC, that 1449 ends up being 3.50 ratio. And this bike, it's 3.46. Well, that's really, really close. That's counting hairs. All right, so now I'm still confused because I could have sworn that I would have bet money that first gear was lower in this bike. All right, so tonight I got them both out, both these bikes out, and I just rode them around the hood. I've got a steep ramp over here. Hard to tell how steep that is, but it's pretty darn steep if you walk up it. So I went up and down that a couple of times. My street out in front of my house is real steep. And so I did just a first gear pull on both of them. I got to say they feel the same. And going back to this bike, I would have sworn that it had a lower first gear with better spacing between the gears because it doesn't have that gappiness that they've had in the past. But going back to this tranny for a minute, it's not like the previous XC transmissions. It does not have that really tall first gear. All the ratios are different on this transmission compared to previous years. And I was very happy with that transmission. And obviously I'm still happy with this transmission. So I'm open for comments on this. Maybe I fell down one too many times and hit my head. But if you guys have some other insight into this, I'm all ears. But because I've seen lots of postings online, guys have been searching for those gear ratios, and they're just not published yet. I looked again today; they're not out there. So as far as I can tell, guys, the bottom line is the transmissions are the same, which is a good thing. So, sorry, I'm just kind of rambling on here because I'm really kind of stunned that these have got the same trannies, especially when one's called a XC and the other one's called a XC-W, which stands for wide ratio in the past. But anyhow, this new bike, this 300 XC-W, is the best bike I've ever owned. I mean, it will be after I get the suspension the way I want it. And some of the ergos, I mean, I'm a taller guy, so I require different ergonomics than a average size guy. And in order to make myself comfortable to where I can ride at a better pace. All right, guys, so I just want to mention that once again, because you guys are always calling me Mr. Grumpy or don't say I'm bashing everything, and I'm good with all that. Nothing wrong with a little grump once in a while. And don't be grump shamers. But anyhow, I love this new bike. Over the weekend, I've had 2 other friends out here that are testers that help us with our testing. They absolutely loved it. They talked about it all the way back home across Kansas, getting back to Missouri. I talked to them again tonight. They still are just blown away by the motor on this, and so am I. The differences between the XC and XC-W engine, I think I've kind of skipped that point. All right, so obviously the transmissions are the same, but the cylinder and the head insert are not the same. So there are different part numbers, and I have not gone inside to verify any port timing, but I have seen a little blurb from KTM talking about this having a milder port timing. And so what appears to be different between the two is the muffler, which, you know, affects the power band, the cylinder and the head insert, and then the mapping on the ECU. But the mapping could be this very similar, I don't know. Don't have a way to check that yet. The mapping on this bike over here is a little rich when you start it up. It takes quite a bit to get it to clean out. And also I've seen a lot of, I've not tried to see how many miles it does on a tank, but I've heard a lot of complaints online and guys that are racing them run out of gas and that kind of stuff. So that all tells me that this mapping on this bike is rich. And maybe they've got a new map for it that I don't have. I haven't checked into that. When I picked up this W, the dealer had just received a new map for it the day before and installed it in this bike. And the mapping on this bike is excellent. I mean, it's going to be difficult to improve for all of us aftermarket tuners. It starts instantly, it idles well, it runs flawlessly. I don't know about the fuel mileage yet, but I can't say enough good things about that engine. It's the best by far that the KTM brand has ever come up with, or any other brand. This engine smokes anything else on the market. Somebody posted the other day asking me how it compares to the Beta 300. Nothing against Betas. If you guys like them, ride them and love every minute of it. But to me, the Beta motor is too sleepy. It's now I haven't updated that motor significantly for a long time. It's overweight. It's slow. It does have very nice, smooth, tractable, easy to ride power, but for a race bike, it's definitely slow. You need to pump them up. All right, and please don't do a bunch of saying I'm beta bashing, because I'm not. I'm just talking the facts here, guys. Ride them both and tell me that I'm wrong. So this motor rocks. And I can't say enough great things about this overall package, actually. This chassis, the swing arm, the new engine, the suspension's definitely much better than in the past, but it's still nowhere near the suspension that I've got on my other bikes, not even in the same ballpark, so I've got to get that changed out. But all right, guys, I'm sorry this video's gone way too long. Please like us on Instagram and Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, give us a shout out when you can, stop by the shop anytime you're in the hood. We've got a KTM candy store like you wouldn't believe, and we always like meeting our customers from around the country and around the world. We have people from all over the world stop in and see us. So that's all for now.